Hello, friends and RC family. My name is Alec. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. And if you aren't new here, thanks for checking back in for another video. This week's video, this Sunday's video, is going to be a little bit different than what I've been doing so far. So far, I've done a lot of running videos and some breakdown videos and some how-tos, and I guess this might fit into the category of a how-to, but it's more of just an explanation. I am going to go through this today. This is my RC backpack. This goes with me on all of my RC hikes, and typically I put a second RC on the back here. So I'm going to go through and show you first off how I've set this backpack up to handle having an RC strapped to the back of it, being that this is just a normal molle backpack that you can buy on Amazon for about 40 bucks or so. I'm going to show you how to set it up for carrying an additional RC, and I'm going to show you what I carry inside of my RC backpack. So if that sounds interesting to any of you, go ahead and follow me along for this little journey. Hopefully it won't be too long of a video, and maybe you'll learn something from it. All right, so let's start out. I'll start out by showing you how I attach an RC truck to the outside of this backpack for use during trail runs, because it's always nice to have two trucks with you. If something goes wrong with one truck, you can have a second one, and if you roll up to an obstacle that is a little bit too much for maybe your normal trail truck and you have like a Capra on your backpack, you can pull down the Capra and hit some better, more difficult lines with that, and then throw it back up on the backpack and feel satisfied that you got a good variety of RC trucking in that day. So this right here, I think that this is a Fox Tactical. I'm not 100% sure on the brand of this backpack. I got it at a Army Navy surplus store here in Salt Lake a long time ago. I'm pretty sure they don't even carry the same one anymore, but I'm sure I could find something similar there. And for your reference, I'll throw a link down in the description to an Amazon product I found that looks exactly the same. It looks identical to this. So I'm not sure if it's the same manufacturer. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same quality. This one's held up for me for years, and it's been absolutely stellar. I've had to sew a little bit on the bottom of the shoulder straps or the waist strap area, just because that is oftentimes where backpacks see the most load, and when you see a lot of load, well, even triple stitching is going to rip eventually. So, but I will, like I said, I'll throw a link down in the description for this backpack or for one that's super similar, just in case you're interested. So that is kind of important for how I put an RC truck on the back of this backpack, because this backpack in particular has this little strap right here, which is pretty common strap that I've found on these tactical backpacks, and it goes over the top of the backpack in a V formation with two straps coming into one tether point on the bottom, and then that clips into a clip about on the center point of the backpack, and that can be cinched down as tight or as loose as you need it. And if you've got the backpack totally full, you'll probably end up with it way out here, but that's okay. As long as it's holding the truck axle in place, we're good to go. So that is kind of important. If you don't have that on your backpack, I don't know exactly how to help you, so I apologize, but that's why I'm providing the link to this backpack down below, because I figure 40 bucks for a backpack, if you go on trail runs even every so often, I think $40 is a pretty reasonable amount of money to spend on a backpack. So the second part of putting a truck on the top of this backpack, on the back of this backpack, or the front of this backpack, whatever you want to call this portion of the backpack, is a shoelace. And I have a relatively short shoelace. I'm pretty sure this is from like a low-cut Timberland boot by the look of it or something like that, but it was just a shoelace that was laying around, and I wasn't using it for anything, so I decided to apply it to this purpose. But any shoelace will do, as long as it is long enough, but this is a fairly short one. I mean, that is strapped through this center molle loop here, and that's it, and that's all of the shoelace that I have right there. So I mean, it's not a whole lot of shoelace, and you don't need a whole lot, and I will show you why here in just a moment. Let me go grab an RC truck, and we'll put this whole thing together. All right, let's do it. So I made an example out of bringing a Capra with you, so I figure let's put the Capra on there. Also, this is kind of a good example because this is about as annoying as it gets when it comes to putting a truck on your backpack, because it's got two steering axles. So you're working around two different steering servos on the axles, which is really annoying. But this is going to vary depending on what truck you're putting onto your backpack, and it will always change, and it won't even probably stay the same for the same truck the second time or the third time that you do it or whatever. It's going to look a little different each time. But essentially what I do is it's pretty simple. I take this top strap here, the V-strap, and whatever side you decide is going to be the top of the truck on your backpack, you're going to put that towards the V-strap, and then you're going to take this buckle that the V-strap buckles into and find some way to put it over the top of the truck's axle. And I'm putting it right on top of the steering servo. I found that is a good way to do it. The steering servo, as long as you have a metal case on the steering servo, it's not like it's going to be damaged by putting some of the truck's weight on it. And then I'm just going to tighten this strap down. Sometimes this can be a little bit obnoxious, and this time I happen to choose the wrong direction to strap this down. So I mean, obviously this isn't perfect. This isn't a super quick release way to put your truck on your backpack, but what did that take? 20 seconds or so? There's the front axle. That's taken care of. This isn't ideal because the backpack isn't as full as I would normally run it. The more full the backpack is, the more tension that your truck can have against the backpack, the easier it's going to be to mount it up. It's like mounting it to a table versus mounting it to a pool noodle. It'll be a little easier when you're mounting it to something solid. So, got the front axle taken care of. For the back axle, this is where this shoestring comes into play. And you could use like some sort of stretchy material here so that you don't have to tie a knot every time that you do this. I personally don't have money for said stretchy material, so I use a shoestring. And all I do is I go around, throw it back through the MOLLE straps. This is why MOLLE backpacks are the best type of backpacks, because they are every backpack. They're whatever you need it to be. They're backpacks on top of backpacks. All right, and then just like that, I would tie a little knot right here to keep that axle down. And with that alone, you've got a really solid setup here, keeping your truck to the back of your backpack. It's not going to move around. I've hiked for miles like this, and really at that point it's up to the quality of the materials of the backpack to hold up to the weight of the truck and whatever you've got in it. So that is how I attach my vehicle to the back of my backpack. Now we can go through what it is I have inside my backpack. Alrighty, so what's inside my backpack? Well, let's start by what's outside my backpack. Almost always I have tons of carabiners on the outside of my backpack and just different ways to attach things. So I've got a carabiner here, I got a carabiner on the other side. I have this weird little paracord bracelet thing that seemed to be a big fad for a while, right? I just use that to attach random stuff to the bag. Start at the front and work our way back, or do we start on the big? Maybe we'll start on the big section. So in the big section, we've got a bag of spare parts, and this is basically steering servos, servo horns, anything plastic on like the axles that I think might break. For my TF2, spare leaf springs, spare wire, spare hardware. I even think I've got an ESC and a motor in here. I think that this was a spare parts bag for a competition, which I usually will take a spare motor and a spare ESC and just throw it in my backpack while I'm competing, because you never know. I already burned out one motor on my very first competition. Almonds. Always gotta have some sort of snack with you. Water also goes in the backpack. It's not in there right now, but a water bottle, essential. First aid kit. Doesn't really matter if you have a full trauma kit or not, but whatever you have, if you've got something, go ahead and throw it in your backpack if you can fit it. If you don't have something that'll fit in your backpack, keep it in your car. Whatever you do, make sure you have some sort of first aid supplies on you. You're going to wish you did if you need these. Got our normal hex bits here. This is sized from, I think, 1.5 up to 3. Is that what it is? Yeah, 1.5 up to 3 standard sizes. That's what I carry with me. I've just kept them in in the carrying case or in the packaging from the shop. More wrenches. These are nut drivers or hex drivers for scale hardware from RC 4-wheel drive. Those things suck and they strip out super easily. This is a MIP that I have shaved down to fit the Vanquish. So if you're too impatient to wait to order a Vanquish hex driver on their website, you can make your own by shaving down a MIP. It just is a little bit painful to do that to a nice tool, but sometimes you got to do it. Got flush cuts and some just small needle nose pliers and another granola bar. Snacks, always snacks. You don't want to see me when I'm hungry. In this section right here, normally I would have this little baggie, which just has my normal nut or normal hub nut wrench or whatever you would call that, and I put some spare clips in it that time. I'll just go ahead and put that back in there. And then I've got, these are all just Ziploc bags full of random stuff. So we've got lots and lots and lots and lots of hardware. We have some battery connector adapters. I found that even if you don't need a battery connector adapter, you should still bring it, because you might have a battery that someone else might be able to use, but if you don't have an adapter for them and they don't have a way to connect it to their rig, you're going to be super bummed, and you're going to have an extra battery that you're not using that they could have used, and, well, now everyone's sad. So bring battery adapters for everyone. And then, yeah, mostly hardware. Zip ties, I don't know if I said that yet. Here, this one, lots more zip ties, double-sided tape, electrical tape, some spare wires, some spare washers. So just a bunch of random hardware and whatnot. Whoops, extra batteries. Essential. I have not yet got on the train of rechargeable AA's. Don't ask me why I haven't done it yet. I should have done it a long time ago. And then on top of that spare parts bag, because like I said, I just recently went to an event, I actually brought another ESC and motor for my buddy who's running a TRX4 just in case, and another steering servo, again, for the same buddy, just in case he were to break anything. So normally I wouldn't bring that much in terms of spare parts, but because I was going to a comp, they ended up in the bag. Okay, so that's all for the middle pocket. So all we've got left are these two last little pockets up here. This top pocket is not a whole lot. It's like scale accessories. So I've got traction boards. I've got this little welder thingy that I use to set up like little scale scenes. Glasses cleaner cloth, because if you wear glasses, you get me. And then some more spare clips and some High Noon stickers that I always carry with me in the bag just to give away if anyone would like one. And then typically this front bag would be a spot for just whatever batteries I'm running. Throw an extra spare battery or use that as the spot to throw the used batteries. I know it's not as good as a lipo pack, but you know, it's the farthest away from my body, and this material on this bag claims to be fire resistant, so it's probably just as good as if you were to buy a lipo bag off of Alibaba. Sorry. So that's everything I put in my bag, and that's how I attach an RC to the outside of my bag so that I can enjoy maximum RCing when I'm out on my trail runs. This is particularly handy when you're going to a place like Sand Hollow, where we are going to be this weekend. Actually, when this video airs, we should be down there. And when you're in an area like that where you're going to hike in a few miles and you know that there's going to be tons of different awesome terrain, it's always nice to have a backpack full of spares just in case anything breaks, and then be able to throw an extra truck on the outside of that backpack so that you can have the maximum amount of fun. I mean, we all here typically buy more than one truck, or a lot of us I know buy more than one truck. And I know a lot of people that just let trucks sit on the shelf. So this can be a solution for you to bring two trucks out on one run and hopefully get your money's worth out of both of them. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's all I've got for you today. Next video will be next Friday. And the Sunday following that. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to High Noon Hobby for more videos every Friday and Sunday. And let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is an optimal solution? Do you like those carry-all backpacks? I really, really like those. Those are super cool. I just wish that I could afford one right now. But unfortunately, I spent all my money on trucks, so we will get there. We'll get there eventually. Do you like the carry-all bags, though? Do you think that's a better solution than this? Do you think this is a better solution? Do you have your own solution? Let me know in the comments section down below. I look forward to reading those. And as always, if you have an idea for another YouTube video, I also love to hear those. Go ahead and throw them down in the comments section down below. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.